Hello and welcome to another new video. Today we are going to be asking ourselves the question, does the player exist in Undertale? Now if you're going ahead and saying obviously the player exists in Undertale, I literally play the game. Now that's not what I mean. See, there's a difference between whether or not you play the video game they call Undertale and the Undertale player being canon. So naturally we gotta ask ourselves this question. Are they canon? And if you're asking why we gotta ask ourselves this question, I love the General route! Now, I want it to be known, I'm a little biased. I think it's ass. I don't like this if it's canon. However, I've come to make a little bit of an announcement. Let's go through it all. So, I feel like the evidence of for and against things can be summed up in all of these separate categories. The post-pacifist Flowey dialogue specifically, the post-Geno Chowder dialogue or first fallen human dialogue, and the actual main run where there's some things that play forward and some things against it. We're starting here. So, one of the main things, the pacifist ending. So, it's a little confusing, so I'm gonna try to explain it in a way that makes sense. So at the beginning of the game, the player, you, in the real world, named the first fallen human child. However, you weren't actually playing as the character you named, you were playing as a different character called Frisk. And naturally, that begs the question, okay, so we weren't playing as the person we named. That's a very interesting twist, and we were actually playing as Frisk. So the player doesn't need to exist yet. So Frisk is their little offshoot down here. And see, something we literally know because it was told to us is the fact that they are suffering from jaundice is only because we are supposed to put our skin color on Frisk. It's up to the player's interpretation as to what Frisk actually looks like. The fact that they are yellow is not actually a quote-unquote canon thing. Well, technically it's a canon thing. I don't know. It's supposed to be it's supposed to let the player interpret what the skin color look like. So Frisk, even though they don't have the name we gave them, has the player's self-insert part. Okay, so we're playing as Frisk. It's a self-insert, but a self-insert with their own name. And if we go post-pacifist, there is a single choice we get to make after the ending bit. And that is whether or not Frisk has a home life to return to. So even after Frisk establishes themselves as something different from what the player named, Frisk is still very much abhorrent to the player's choices and is something we project ourselves onto. So we're playing as Frisk. Well, no, because then there's Flowey dialogue. After the credits, in the 11th hour, Flowey comes in and says, "Let Frisk be happy, don't reset." Okay, what? So we're not playing as Frisk. Otherwise, that doesn't make any sense. And Frisk isn't the one that resets things, because Flowey isn't talking to Frisk, because Flowey is saying let Frisk be happy, and Flowey is calling out the first fallen human. So now, wait, hold on. So we weren't playing as Frisk, we were playing as the first fallen human, which is why we named the first fallen human. That's why Flowey talks to the first fallen human in the post-pacifist credit scene. I get it now. I get it, I think. I think I get it now. Yeah, I get it now. So we aren't Frisk. Frisk just happens to be fine with whatever we choose. Because they are. Except Soda. They hate Soda. Other than that, they are self-insert outside of Soda. And also, I've seen a lot of people bring up the one dialogue choice in the fucking True Lab where you can be mean to one of the amalgamates, and Frisk just doesn't do that. I never read it as Frisk, having their own opinion about this. I read it as, oh, it's creepy. Here's a creepy thing to write down. That's it. I don't think they actively did anything. Okay, now that we know that we're not Frisk, we're the first fallen human actually, and the first fallen human is the one resetting. Now we can go ahead and equip ourselves for the second run. What? 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 Okay. Now hold on. Let me get this. So we're not playing as Frisk, because we can't be playing as Frisk, because Flowey has this dialogue. We're not playing as the first fallen human, because the first fallen human literally just, walked in front of us. and they're asking for a soul, so they weren't the one resetting. But Frisk wasn't the one resetting either. Is Flowey just wrong? Okay, if the player doesn't exist, Flowey is wrong here. And talking to a wall, I guess. Okay, hold on. Who are you talking to? So, okay, if the demon is talking to Frisk, if the demon is talking to Frisk, right? If the demon is talking to Frisk, then it's Frisk's soul that the demon steals. So it's Frisk's determination that the demon uses, right? So Frisk is the one resetting. And Flowey's dialogue plays because he's stupid, and Frisk is actually the one resetting. And Frisk, even though that even though that they don't like soda and are therefore not a different, like an own character, is the own character that we control. I think. Okay, so Frisk decided that after Pacifist, they should just go back and kill everyone. Yeah, that makes sense. Me when I kill all my friends because I'm bored. Fuck you! Okay, this is getting increasingly stupid. But what if the player exists? Okay, if the player exists, then we can tell the story of the player is playing as the demon, as the first fallen human child. That's why we see the scene with Flowey. Frisk is their own person that just kind of goes along with whatever the fuck we're trying to do. That also explains why Frisk actively loses their memory when we do a true reset. Because fun fact, if you play through Pacifist and do a true reset, Frisk also loses their memory as seen by, the sand scenes not repeating. Because they should if Frisk didn't lose their memory. So if the player exists, Frisk loses their memories every true reset, like everyone else. Flowey is talking to not a wall, I guess. It's like at the flower bed, I think, and is correct about the assumption that it was Chara, because we are playing as Chara, but in the genocide, Chara has enough power to go away from us. And the soul that they're talking about is our soul, because we used our soul to transmutate into the video game, and this sucks ass. But guess what? The main thing about this video isn't actually whether or not the player exists, because the player existing also has problems. There are many arguments you can make for and against the player being a thing. Personally, I think they are. But here's the thing. It doesn't fucking matter. I'm gonna keep it $1.50 with every single one of you. It don't matter if the player is canon or not, because the story's about the player. Here's some members as I'm talking about this. Join membership now, you get to see videos early. The fact of the matter is that the main, narrative of the genocide run is entirely about the player. Why did you go back? Because guess what? Even though a lot of people like to say that there isn't a correct way to play through Undertale, there is. The intended way is neutral, pacifist, genocide. That's the correct way, quote unquote. You can do it however you fucking want, but that's the way intended by the video game. So the main question that the game asks you is, why did you go back? Was it to see everything? And that is inherently a tale about the player, and not about some fictional motherfucker that we call Chris, or that we call whatever the damn hell we want to, because the first fallen human child, again, is not Chara. It's your name, and we know that it is your name because fucking Toby Fox said so. The single fucking joke that Toby Fox made has been a bane of the Undertale community for so fucking long, even though it's just a character joke. It's your name. Your name. It's your name. That's what's supposed to be. The demon is supposed to walk in front of you, say, "Hi, I am you." I am that feeling when the RPG numbers go up. I am that part of you that wishes to see those numbers go up. I am the serotonin that goes up. I am the satisfaction that goes up. I am what drives you to do this. The argument is shit, by the way, because Undertale is not a numbers game. It just isn't. This argument works for a JRPG, but Undertale is not a JRPG. So, they're a little confused, but they got the spirit. The story is objectively about how you interact with a game. Whether or not to that story you are canon is entirely irrelevant because it says the exact same thing. Whether or not the fact that this demon just talks to Frisk at the end of the goddamn general route doesn't change the fact it's supposed to be talking to you, whether or not in canon that's the fact. So the entire discussion, the entire thing, entirely useless and goddamn not hard. Because the story is about the player anyway, it don't damn matter. Swishing music! There wasn't even a swishing music, I just tapped it lightly with my foot. Shout out to the oldest member, and by oldest I mean subscribe first. Giffany CD, give it up. There's a few new ones that I didn't write down. Give it up for the youngest member, Kel. They joined as a developer. Thumbs up emoji. I'm pretty sure there's some people here that already left, but like, it's fun. Anyways, yeah, it doesn't matter, because the story is about the player anyway, so the fact that the player is canon or not is really fucking irrelevant. Muffin, go ahead!